Good morning, y'all. What's going on? And we're here. It's 8:34 Monday morning. And of course, I actually had something that I had recorded last night as the broadcast for Revolution had finally gotten shut down off of the airwaves, which a lot of that I'm not very happy about, but we'll just let that be what it is. And it's really just much ado about nothing anyway. But of course, what I'm talking about last night, AEW Revolution 2024, Sting's final match. For those of you who don't know me all that well and really haven't been as I guess in depth with my content as a lot of other people may have been, I have been a Sting fan for a really long time, and it's real interesting. The story behind that just goes back to late 80s, early 90s. Of course, I was heavy on WWF, and much like a lot of kids back then, I was a Hulkamaniac. But then I heard about the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, if you will. Not the rap group, and I'm not going to go into that right now, but anyway, I don't know why I had to reference that, but it was just interesting because obviously they were the rival company for WWF then, now WWE, obviously. And of course they would then move on to be rebranded as World Championship Wrestling, or WCW, where Sting was the franchise for many years, up until the purchase of WCW by Vince McMahon in, what was it, 02? Well, 01 or 02, but either way, yeah, that's literally what it has been. And as I said before, I grew up being a Hulkamaniac, yet when I first discovered NWA, I discovered Sting, and I was like, holy shit, you know, just because it was something the likes of what I had never seen before. And it was real funny to me because the way I think about it now, this literally just occurred to me. But I actually realized that this dude was literally a combination of Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior all wrapped in one. A lot of people don't think about it that way, and even more so because of the fact that, you know, Sting was a tag team partner of the Ultimate Warrior, then the Dingo Warrior as the Blade Runners. I really didn't get to see a whole lot of that because the Warrior was well into his WWE career at that point. So, you know, I'm not as familiar with their combined work or anything, but it's pretty cool to know that that was a thing, and especially for everything that the Ultimate Warrior ended up being. God rest the soul of Jim Hellwig. But anyway, I say all that because, again, growing up as a Hulkamaniac, but then Hulk Hogan finally goes to WCW, what was that, in 1994, I believe it was, 95? And it was cool at first. I was here for it, but it just changed because things were different from when he was in WWE. I mean, it was drastic, and it was actually the very first time that the Cena reaction was a thing. It was a Cena reaction before Cena was a thing. I mean, that's just how heavy that is. And even more so because I think it was about a year and a half to 2 years into Hogan's run with WCW, and they finally had a match between Hogan and Sting, and it was just wild. I just didn't realize how crazy this was for me at this point, but he had Hogan so outclassed. And it's not even the fact that, you know, the match he was dominating or anything like that, like, you know, he was, like, actually kicking his ass, which in that match he really was, but it was more the fact that just in terms of the overall performance. I mean, the only way I know to describe it is that he made Hulk Hogan look like shit while making him look good at the same time. I had never seen anything like that before that. And it was an episode of WCW Nitro. I can't really give you the date or anything, but that's basically the way I remember it. And for then it kind of started turning for me. Then, of course, there was a transformation into Crow Sting. But, of course, the rest is history from there. Just for a couple of moments here, I'm going to just transition into the actual show of AEW Revolution as it is. It's not going to be a review, just a couple of thoughts that I want to share on that. One, and it's just refreshing because I was thinking this last night. It's been reaffirmed now after watching the latest Wrestle Talk video. Shout out to Ollie Davis, Luke Owen, Lori and the rest of the crew, Sat and all of them, you know. They obviously do great stuff over there, but Luke did his review of Revolution and gave it a 5 out of 5. I gave it a 5 out of 5 as well, you know. And I was, in the original version of this that I did, I was saying that the kickoff match, which was the TNT title match, Christian and Garcia, for me, that would have been the one down point of the night, and yet it really wasn't. It was a hell of a match. I mean, and you got everything you could possibly ask for in terms of storytelling when it comes to the patriarchy, Christian, Daniel Garcia. Of course, Daddy Magic came through and did his thing and was actually serving Killswitch up. Like, I was actually proud of him in that moment. And it was like all those things that just made it really cool. And if I'm being honest, the international title match would have probably been a better kickoff match, but both of those did well to help set and maintain a pace. The Continental Crown match, same thing. The FTR BCC, same thing there. Just a lot of great shit in that one. Amazing action. And it just was great all throughout. And actually, I take it back. Another potential low point was the women's title match, but not really, because it was a great match. The wrestling was on point. Now, was their storytelling as great as you'd like it to be? Not so much. But at the same time, you know, it's actually really cool to see that it's really just a sign of things to come as far as that women's division is concerned. And with big business coming up on the 13th here, I dare say that it's really just only going to get better from there, and for obvious reasons. But transitioning back, and then of course there was the world title match. I mean, unbelievable stuff. I would say probably as good as any in terms of overall, you know, in-ring action, storytelling, just great stuff altogether. But transitioning back to Sting and what should have been and was the main event of the night, the AEW World Tag Title match, Darby and Sting versus the Young Bucks. And again, amazing storytelling here. I mean, it was obvious they put their hearts and souls into this, and it was all for Sting. It was so amazing to see this, and it made me incredibly happy, not just as a Sting fan, not just as a wrestling fan, but just someone who, at least I would like to think, still has some semblance, some actual semblance of right and wrong, because, you know, I'm not going to stop harping on it. WWE did them wrong on a lot of counts. They did him well also, but they did him more wrong than they did him well. That being said, Revolution was a huge make right and then some. And on top of that, it was also a precursor of what I feel like is yet to come. I mean, it's only going to go up from here. And I'm literally having this text debate with my best friend about it right now, you know. It's coming around. Shit is literally coming around with this company. They're even having the redesign for Dynamite You know, and that's the one that I'm looking forward to more than anything else. So a lot of fun stuff that's going to be forthcoming, and I didn't even mention Kazuchika Okada or Mercedes Moné, although technically I did, but not so much by name. Nonetheless, that's just all my thoughts on that in a nutshell. Definitely happy, outside of the fact that they cut the pay-per-view way too fucking early for its own good, but another shout out. I know I'm name dropping a lot here, but big ups to the man Sean Ross Sapp. There's a reason why he's the best in the business. He's got us on now. But anyway, y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think, and I'm gonna be getting at y'all.